So this is the new van. Welcome to the tour of our red Sprinter conversion. My name's Rob Salmon. We're known on YouTube as MTB Vanlife because we're into mountain biking. The whole reason we build the vans is so we can go and take trips up to Scotland, down to Wales, wherever. Just get in the van, load the bikes up and off we go. You can find me on Instagram. I'm called Build It on a Bike. We have built quite a few vans before, so there's a bit of a learning curve. This is probably the best one that I've done so far. I've learned a few things from the last ones that I've done, and really pleased with how this one's come out. So this is the new van. It's a Mercedes Sprinter, short wheelbase, high top, bought from a dealer up in Manchester. Just a basic van. It was owned by a crane company that used to do crane repairs on the railway. It's a 313 CDI, plenty of power. So as you can see, straight on there, bull bars up top, big strip LED light. Also had all the signs, Mercedes badges and what have you. Had them off, give them a good rub down, primed them, painted them black, and splashed out on this one. Got the black Rhino wheels from Elite Wheels, also came fitted with the BF Goodrich tyre, guaranteed to fit on the Sprinter with the biggest radius possible. Got these running boards, they come off eBay, again with a glass, quite easy to fit. And then we've got the Fiamma F45, it's actually for a medium wheelbase but it fits perfect, and we've had to adapt a way of fitting it by basically fitting a roof rack, and then it actually fits to the roof rack. And this side window we decided to have an opener with it being next to the kitchen. There you go folks, there's the awning up, winds out with this winder. Legs clip into these clips that are fixed to the side of the van. We've also had these deadlock bolts fitted, obviously we're going to get carrying bikes worth quite a lot of money. So I'll show you inside, let's have a look. So we've obviously got the two swivel seats, swivel round. We've got this table which makes a real good workspace, also swivels. You can go outside with it, lower it down. And then you've got an outside table. Table is made by Lagoon. Up front, we fitted a new stereo. We've gone with the Sony 10.9, I think it is. Massive screen. It's got Apple CarPlay on there, so it allows us to do everything that we can do on the phone safely as well with voice recognition. We've also added a camera system that records while you're driving. Lenses front and back, and it's also got a rear camera for reversing. To be honest, we use it mainly in reverse mode on all the time, so as we've got a rear mirror, because obviously you can't see out the back of this thing now. We had a kitchen pod made while it was CNC'd up by a guy in Sheffield for us, because we thought we were going to do it ourselves, obviously me being a carpenter, but the CNC just does that good a job. It's so perfect, and for us to go out and buy the tooling, the router bits, and then buy the board at £150 per sheet, it just wasn't viable. It was just better to have this guy make it for us. He's called the Camper Company, real nice. Sliders on the drawers. Fridge fits straight in. We've got the Dometic CRX50, I think it is. Cupboards underneath. Pots and pans and stuff. Gas lockers in there too. Forget the cups. Sorry. There you go. Sink. Cooker. We've only got cold running water in this one, folks. We found that we never really used the hot water, and for the little bit that we did use, we just thought it was easy enough to just boil a kettle. iPad bracket, absolutely brilliant. Watch movies while we're in bed, swivel it round, sit and watch movies in the seats. We worked out the cost of actually putting a TV in here, a small TV, and we wanted a digital smart TV. And by the time we bought it, we could actually afford to go out and have this iPad from O2 for so much a month. and it didn't work out much steer, and the iPad stays with me. It goes back into the house and I use it all the time. Overhead storage, bits and bobs in there, some coffee and what have you. And then these overhead bins, we basically stole the idea off a company in America called Sync Vans. Inch by inch box section steel. We welded it up. Here's some pictures of me welding it up and how it came together. And then it's been clad with plywood, and the plywood's been wrapped in this Hessian material that we managed to get from eBay. Apparently IKEA use it for their furniture, and then we've used that material all around the van. It's real hardware and it's nice looking stuff. We use the normal carpet to carpet the ceiling because it's just so easy to use. Up here we've got a CO2 meter. There's a solar panel on the roof. This is the controller. It allows us to set timers on the best charging rates, when it trips in and trips out at what voltage. Above that we've got the control for the diesel heater. It's one of the Chinese ones, again come off eBay. Something silly like £80, something like that. They work really well, and there's no way I'm going to pay 800-900 quid for a German heater when we can get one of these and replace it 8 times. So obviously that is housed in this little compartment that's under the kitchen unit. It's all been heat proofed and it's vented on the side. Quite safe, we've tried it out, it works really well. As you can see, obviously this time we haven't blocked the bed in. We've left access underneath to the garage, mainly because we can put long stuff in. I've got a good 5, maybe 6 meters from the front of the dash right to the back of the van. Even in this short wheelbase van, we can get bikes in. We could get probably 3, maybe 4 bikes in, but we'll only ever have 2 in, me and Damo, to be honest. I have also fitted an inverter so as I can charge my e-bike. It involved quite a process of working out how much battery power and how much solar power we needed. Batteries, there's 2, there's one underneath that base and one underneath that base, and I'll show you all the wiring system in a minute. Under the bed, 2 ticks, I'll put some lights on. We've got this hex board. It's basically birch pie covered in a hex, like vinyl material. It's used for trailer bottoms and stuff, and flight cases and such as. There's the heater outlet. That's adjustable, so we can fire that wherever we want. If we want to dry some clothes off or get the bikes dry after washing them down. In this compartment is basically, we've got a tank in there. I think that's a 35 litre tank, pump and a pressure vessel, just as we get even pressure. And these hatches, they're amazing. Quite cheap off eBay. Nets, toolbox. And the tank, we said, again, we've got another one of these hatches. It's a round one this time. And we can basically fill the tank up from here. There's a table, quite easily. It unclips from the post, it mounts in there like so. Clip folds over, tighten that up, and it's out the way. Got all the front room to do with whatever we want. Got plenty of room there now. Right, let's have a look in the garage. Again, plenty of storage for the bikes. We've got this little tidy, whatever you want to call it again. I think it was something like 3 quid off eBay. I don't know if you've noticed there's an orange theme going on. Made these little plaques, got some stickers off just to try and tie it in, give it a bit of branding. Again, the hex board, dead good stuff, birch ply. Down the bottom, the bike stands. It actually fits into this T-track. You can buy these separate clips. They basically unclip like so. Dead easy to use. And then the good tie downs. The bike axle stands, they were provided from a company called Blockpod. They looked after us and sent a couple of these stands free of charge. I did said they'd give them a massive shout out in the video. If you want one of these, I'm not kidding you, the quality of them's amazing. Check them out. It's not just axle stands they do all kinds of stuff for vans. Some of the racking systems are phenomenal. And basically we mounted them to the plates, and then again they move, they slide round, and we can actually take them completely out. It's just it gives us a bit of ease to move them around whenever we want to. Controls lights for under the bed, lights out back when it's night time and want to get sorted. And if you can hear that, there's a compressor. It's housed in this box, the top lifts off, it's under there. Compressor hose, again in orange, with a quick release mount, fits in there, and we've got the tyre pressure gauge. Put the tyres up and down. We had one of these in the last van and we used it so much when we were popping these tyres off when we were racing. You know how believable it is to be able to just seat a tyre with a compressor while you're out. Really good. And for how much they cost, switch that off. I'll show you. About £60–70 and they do ace, brilliant thing. On the other side we've got jet wash, again quick release connection. It's quite powerful, the pump's not switched on at the minute but works a treat. This is another thing we splashed out on this van, with it being a bit more newer van. Thought it deserves something nice. Got the park tool bike repair stand. It's mounted to the door. We have had to back it with some metal behind there, so because it's quite heavy, and obviously with the bike on it, it's going to be heavy. There you can see the bike repair stand holds the bike perfectly for working on. Daft as it seems, that is a guttering downpipe extender, and it's perfect. We had some leftover box section, so we made these right sturdy hoop rail, hanging the bags on and the helmets. Up top in the bed area, got these little reading lights, really good, got on both sides. Reverse camera I was telling you about, and then we've got some speakers that were mounted. Makes such a difference in sound, but an absolute nightmare to route the cables down there through the plastic and then all the way across the van. Still worth doing. All the boxing was trimmed with this inch aluminium. We've trimmed the step with it, and then flooring wise we've used this black rubber, I think it's called penny coin design flooring. It's brilliant. It gets a bit dirty because it's black, but it's so easy to mop out. We've had this cover that goes all the way across the driving area and then around the back slightly. Real reasonable price. To actually buy the mat for the single seat conversion, the proper Mercedes one, is ridiculous, so we just did this. It's about 40 quid. Can drop it out and move it whenever we want. The single seat this side, we had a double one before. This is actually a Mercedes seat to match that one, but it's a driver's seat that's been converted, so the seat belt's been moved to the other side. We did have a massive problem with the SRS light coming on when we removed the double seats. The way we got around it was to take the seat belt out of the double seat and plug it back in and hide it underneath that base. We tried chips, resistors, in fact I've got one right here. Spent a fortune on this thing from a German company and it didn't even work. It's just rubbish. Stick with the seatbelt if you ask me. Up top, we were going to put a bulkhead in to store things, but we like it so much that we can just walk to the seat and sit down without banging your head. It's just been left as it was. It just gives that sense of space as well. The pillars were lined in plywood and then carpeted both sides. I've got loads of these USB points dotted all around the place. There's some in the back. I've got a battery for me wireless dropper that's permanently in there because I keep forgetting to take it. Here we've got lights, got loads of spotlights. We've put absolutely loads of them, 2, 4, 6, 8 lights in the space of this short wheelbase van, because last van we didn't put as many lights in and at night we struggled. Power for the USBs, and then we've got a spare switch there I think it's for the awning lights that we're going to fit at some point, if we ever get around to it. Alright folks, battery and everything, auxiliary battery, is all hidden in this van. It's all underneath the seat. We've got two of these 110 amp hour new max batteries. Both of them, one of them's under this seat base. With all the electrics, we've got a kill switch, we've got a solar charge controller, all the fuses, what have you, switchboard is under that seat. And then under this seat, we've got the other battery, all the van wiring, which I wish was as neat as the wiring that we've put in, but it's not. And then we have a 1500 watt inverter, which allows us to charge e-bikes. Sockets around the front, get a 75% charge, basically running from the solar panel direct from the batteries. This is why we have two batteries. If I'm driving anywhere, if I'm driving for longer than 3 hours, I can charge my bike 100% from the inverter. The inverter controller is mounted here on the front of the unit. All I basically do is flick that switch, it tells me how much battery of life, and obviously that switches the inverter on. Gives me a low input voltage warning as well if we've got a low input. Another thing that we fitted is a fire extinguisher. Better to be safe to have one for the sake of a £10. So we fitted one, we mounted it there, it's ever there, it's there if we ever need it. Right, the bed, it's actually just a memory foam double mattress bought from eBay, and then the cover, it's got a zip, I think, at the far end. We unzipped it and then cut it down with a carving knife, sewed it back up and fitted it into the actual bed base. The bed itself, we've used something called Unistrut, and it's basically what electricians use for racking. You get these corner brackets and you can just build it up, a bit like Meccano. It's like going back to being a kid again. Quite easy to use, dead easy to remove if I have to. Lined with a hex board. Big double sleeping bag. These window blinds are really thermally efficient, they're brilliant, they fit really well. The guy actually didn't do the rear windows for a short wheelbase, but I sent him some measurements and he made me some. Chose orange to keep the theme going. You've obviously got one for the front windscreen, two side windows, and then the two windows that are actually in the back quarter. Lovely, a 9, a Rip 9. That's what all these bands are about really. Taking these bikes, racing and riding them. There you go folks, that's the van. Any questions, ask, drop us a like. Subscribe if you want to, and go have a look at some of the mountain bike videos as well, because again, that's what this van's all about. Getting out, riding, adventure. Just a quick one, we have got a lot of videos and pictures and stuff of when we were actually building the van. If you'd be interested in to actually see how we did some of the stuff and see the van obviously before it was built, before it was converted, give us a comment below, just let us know exactly what you want to see and we'll see if we can put something together for you. Cheers, bye.
I hope you enjoyed that content. If you hadn't noticed, we do have an ebook that we sell, and the link is just in the description. It contains 160 pages crammed full of practical advice, walkthrough information, electronic schematics and part lists, which will make your job a lot easier for doing a van conversion, and it will save you time and money. Also, we've created special videos for the ebook which enable you to see walkthroughs for how to do loads of things in a van conversion. So that's for water systems, for your electrics, for how to do simple woodwork joints that anyone can do. And I really believe that anyone, regardless of their experience, can make a half decent van conversion. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate you watching our content, and we put a lot of effort to make it interesting, informative, and find those cool projects to feature on our channel. Consider subscribing, leave a comment, and we'll see you next week.